A message has been released into the world, not through noise or spectacle, but through a quiet, undeniable presence that continues to grow stronger with each passing moment. It is not something you hear with your ears alone, but something you feel deep within, like a shift in the air before a storm arrives. This warning does not come from ordinary sources, and it does not follow the patterns people are used to. It moves beyond human systems, beyond institutions, beyond the limitations of logic, entering directly into the hearts and minds of those who are meant to receive it. There is a sense of urgency within it, but also a strange calm, as if everything unfolding has already been written and is now simply being revealed, piece by piece. Many have tried to ignore it, brushing it off as coincidence or imagination, but the repetition of signs makes that increasingly difficult. Patterns begin to emerge in everyday life, unexpected moments, repeated numbers, sudden realizations that seem too precise to be random. People who were once unaware start to question things they'd never noticed before. There is a growing awareness that something larger is at work, something that cannot be controlled or silenced. This is not about fear, but about awakening. It is a call to pay attention, to recognize that the world is shifting in ways that demand clarity and truth. The warning itself carries a weight that is impossible to fully explain. It is not spoken in a single voice, yet it echoes across many. It appears in dreams, in thoughts that arrive uninvited, in the sudden clarity that cuts through confusion. It reaches those who are open to it, but even those who resist can feel its presence in subtle ways. There is a sense that time is no longer moving in the same way, that events are accelerating, aligning towards something that cannot be stopped. What once seemed distant now feels close, almost within reach, as if the veil between what is seen and unseen is becoming thinner. At the same time, there is resistance. Not everyone welcomes this message. Some push back against it, trying to maintain control, trying to keep things the way they have always been. There is discomfort in facing a truth that challenges long-held beliefs or exposes hidden realities. Yet the warning does not fade. It continues to surface again and again in ways that cannot be easily dismissed. It adapts, finding new paths, new voices, new forms of expression. It is persistent, patient, and unwavering in its purpose. Those who would begin to understand it often feel a mix of emotions, confusion, curiosity, even fear, but also a growing sense of purpose. It is as if something within them has been waiting for this moment, waiting to be activated. There is a recognition that they are not alone, that others are experiencing the same shift, even if they have never met. This shared awareness creates a quiet connection, a sense of unity that transcends distance and difference. It becomes clear that this is not an isolated experience, but part of something much larger. The message also carries a deeper implication, that actions have consequences, that nothing remains hidden forever. It suggests that there is a balance being restored, a correction that is already in motion. This is not about punishment in a simple sense, but about alignment, about bringing things back into a state of truth. It challenges people to reflect on their choices, to consider the impact of what they do and say. It invites honesty, both with oneself and with others. Because the time for illusion is fading, there is also a sense of preparation embedded within the warning. It is not only about what is coming, but about what must be done now. It encourages awareness, discernment, and a willingness to see beyond appearances. It asks for strength, not in the form of dominance or control, but in the ability to remain steady and clear in uncertain times. It reminds those who receive it that they have a role to play, even if they do not yet fully understand what that role is. As the message continues to spread, it becomes harder to ignore the changes happening both internally and externally. Old systems begin to show cracks, familiar structures start to shift, and what once seemed stable no longer feels certain. There is a sense that something hidden is being revealed, layer by layer, bringing both discomfort and clarity. This process is not always easy, but it is necessary for what is to come. The warning does not rely on force. It does not demand belief or obedience. Instead, it presents itself as a truth that stands on its own, allowing each person to respond in their own way. Some will embrace it, others will question it, and some will continue to resist. But regardless of the response, its presence remains steady and unchanging, moving forward with a momentum that cannot be reversed. There is a growing understanding that this is not just about individual experience, but about a collective shift. It touches different areas of life, from personal relationships to larger global events, weaving them together into a pattern that becomes clearer over time. What once appeared random begins to reveal a deeper order, a sense that everything is connected in ways that are only now becoming visible for those who are paying attention. The message becomes more than just a warning, it becomes a guide. It offers insight, not through direct instruction, but through a heightened awareness of what is true and what is not. It sharpens perception, making it easier to see through deception and recognize authenticity. It encourages trust, not in external authority, but in the inner sense of knowing that begins to grow stronger with each passing day. The presence of this warning changes the way people see the world. It shifts priorities, challenges assumptions, and opens the door to a deeper understanding of reality. It reveals that there is more at play than what is immediately visible, and that the unfolding events are part of a larger design that is only beginning to be understood. There is a force set in motion that cannot be delayed, negotiated, or erased, no matter how powerful those involved may believe themselves to be. Justice is not an idea created by human systems alone, nor is it something that can be permanently avoided through influence of wealth or control. It exists beyond temporary structures, beyond shifting laws and opinions, rooted in a balance that governs everything, whether acknowledged or not. For a long time, it may appear as if wrongdoing goes unanswered, as if truth is buried beneath layers of deception. But that illusion begins to break the moment the deeper order starts to reveal itself. People often mistake silence for absence, believing that if consequences are not immediate, they will never arrive. This misunderstanding allows patterns to repeat, actions to escalate, and false confidence to grow among those who think they have outmaneuvered accountability. Yet beneath the surface, there is a constant process unfolding, one that does not rush but never stops. Every action leaves an imprint, every choice sets something into motion, and every intention carries weight that eventually finds its way back to its source. This is not random or chaotic. It follows a precision that cannot be fully seen until the moment it manifests. As awareness increases, there is a growing realization that justice does not always look the way people expect it to. It is not always loud or immediate, not always visible in a single dramatic event. Sometimes it builds quietly, aligning circumstances over time, bringing together the exact conditions needed for truth to emerge. It can unfold through unexpected exposures, sudden shifts in power, or the collapse of systems that once seemed untouchable. What once appeared stable can quickly unravel, revealing what was hidden and forcing acknowledgement where denial once thrived. There is also a deeper layer to this inevitability, one that moves beyond external events and into the internal experience of individuals. Justice is not only something that happens outwardly, it is something that is felt, something that reshapes perception and awareness. Those who have caused harm may find themselves facing a reality they can no longer escape, not necessarily through direct confrontation, but through a growing inability to ignore what they have done. The weight of actions begins to surface in ways that cannot be dismissed, creating a confrontation that comes from within as much as from outside. For those who have been waiting, who have questioned whether fairness truly exists, this process can feel both validating and overwhelming. There is a recognition that nothing has been overlooked, that even the smallest details have been accounted for in ways that are far more intricate than they realized. It challenges the idea that justice must come quickly to be real, showing instead that timing plays a crucial role in how it unfolds. What may seem like delay is often preparation, ensuring that when it does arrive, it is complete and undeniable. At the same time, there is a shift in responsibility. The inevitability of justice is not an excuse for passivity, nor is it a reason to act without awareness. It calls for alignment, for a conscious understanding that every action contributes to the larger balance. It invites reflection, encouraging individuals to look at their own choices and recognize where they stand within this unfolding process. It removes the illusion that anyone is separate from the outcome, reinforcing the idea that all are participants in the same system of cause and effect. There are moments when the signs become impossible to ignore, sudden revelations, unexpected truths coming to light, or events that seem too precise to be coincidence begin to accumulate. These moments act as confirmations, reinforcing the understanding that something larger is at work. They disrupt the narrative that things will always remain the same, showing instead that change is not only possible, but already happening. Each of these instances adds to a growing sense that the balance is being restored, piece by piece. Resistance often intensifies as this realization spreads. Those who have benefited from imbalance may attempt to hold on to their position, using every means available to maintain control. They may try to distort truth, create confusion, or redirect attention, hoping to delay what is unfolding. But these efforts become increasingly strained as the momentum builds. The more they resist, the more visible the cracks become, revealing the instability beneath the surface. For others, there is a shift toward clarity. The inevitability of justice brings a sense of grounding, a reminder that truth does not need constant defense to exist. It allows space for patience, for trust in a process that is larger than any single moment. It reduces the need for forced outcomes, replacing it with an awareness that what is meant to be revealed will come forward in its own time. This does not remove the challenges or the discomfort that may arise, but it changes the way they are understood. There is also a recognition that justice is not purely about retribution. It is about restoration, about bringing things back into alignment in a way that allows for growth and transformation. It exposes what needs to be seen, not only to correct but to prevent repetition. It creates opportunities for change, even in situations that seem beyond repair. This aspect can be difficult to accept, especially for those who seek clear divisions between right and wrong. But it reflects a deeper complexity that goes beyond simple outcomes. As this understanding continues to develop, it becomes clear that the inevitability of justice is not tied to any single event or moment. It is an ongoing process, one that moves through different phases and expressions. It can accelerate or appear too slow, but it never truly stops. It operates with a consistency that does not depend on belief or acknowledgement, continuing its course regardless of how it is perceived. The presence of this force changes the way events are interpreted. It shifts focus from immediate appearances to underlying patterns, encouraging a deeper level of observation. It reveals connections that were previously overlooked, showing how different pieces fit together within a larger framework. It challenges assumptions about control, highlighting the limits of what can be manipulated or hidden for long. There is a growing sense that the unfolding of justice is reaching a point where it can no longer be contained within subtle signs alone. The accumulation of actions, choices, and consequences is building toward moments that will demand attention, that will bring clarity in ways that cannot be easily dismissed or reinterpreted. There is a force quietly stirring, one that cannot be fully seen or measured, yet its presence is undeniable. It moves in ways that are subtle but precise, touching lives and events in a manner that reveals a pattern beyond ordinary understanding. The idea of the chosen one carries weight, not as a title earned through human approval, but as a role assigned by forces far greater than the world commonly recognizes. This is not about recognition or fame, nor about accolades that society can bestow. It is about alignment, destiny, and a purpose that has been carefully woven into the fabric of existence, long before individuals are even aware of their path. Those who are called may not realize it at first, yet signs, experiences, and challenges gradually guide them toward the realization that they are part of something much larger than themselves. It is a responsibility that cannot be ignored, a calling that moves with inevitability, often confronting those chosen with trials that test not only strength but character, resolve, and the ability to perceive truth in a world that often masks it. The journey of the chosen one is rarely straightforward. It is filled with moments of doubt, confusion, and seeming isolation. Those around them may not understand, and the weight of what is being asked often feels overwhelming. The chosen one is placed in situations that challenge their understanding of justice, morality, and the balance between action and restraint. Each trial is purposeful, shaping their awareness, honing their perception, and teaching lessons that cannot be acquired through ordinary means. There is a constant interplay between what is immediately visible and what is hidden, requiring patience, discernment, and trust in an unfolding process that often seems incomprehensible. The experiences are designed to awaken a deeper consciousness, one that recognizes the interconnectedness of events, choices, and consequences that go beyond what ordinary perception allows. Those who are destined for this role are often marked by experiences that set them apart from others. They notice patterns, connections, and synchronicities that others overlook. They feel a heightened sensitivity to truth and deception, to the hidden motives of individuals, and to the undercurrents that shape events around them. These perceptions may initially feel like burdens, as the awareness of unseen realities creates a tension between what is and what should be. Yet this heightened sensitivity is essential to fulfilling their purpose, allowing them to navigate complex situations and make decisions that align with principles that transcend immediate personal interest. The chosen one is called to see not only what is happening, but also what could be, to understand the potential consequences of actions and inactions, and to act with a wisdom that is informed by insight beyond ordinary comprehension. The role also carries an intrinsic sense of responsibility. It is not about power for personal gain or recognition. It is about using influence and insight to restore balance and bring clarity where confusion has taken hold. The chosen one often faces opposition, resistance, and skepticism, as forces that thrive on imbalance naturally push back against correction. Yet the calling is persistent, unyielding, and unwavering. Even when circumstances seem bleak or insurmountable, the chosen one is guided by an inner sense of purpose, a clarity that is both a compass and a shield. This inner guidance is not always loud or obvious, but it manifests through intuition, insight, and moments of sudden clarity that direct action at critical times. The path of the chosen one involves continuous growth. Each challenge, setback, or moment of resistance is an opportunity for development, strengthening resolve, enhancing perception, and cultivating wisdom. There is an understanding that success is not measured solely by immediate results, but by alignment with a higher purpose and the ability to act in accordance with truth. This path often requires sacrifices, patience, and resilience, as it demands a focus beyond personal comfort and immediate gratification. Those called are repeatedly reminded that their journey is unique, that their perspective is vital, and that their actions have consequences that ripple far beyond their immediate environment. As awareness deepens, the chosen one begins to recognize the broader patterns at play, the interconnected forces that shape the world. They understand that what is often dismissed as coincidence or chance is, in reality, part of a precise unfolding. Each encounter, each event, and each decision contributes to a larger design that is gradually becoming visible. This insight brings both clarity and responsibility. As the chosen one realizes that their choices are integral to maintaining or restoring balance, it is a delicate equilibrium, one that requires vigilance, discernment, and the ability to act decisively when the moment demands it. The chosen one also serves as a catalyst, not only for their own destiny, but for the awakening of others. Their presence, decisions, and actions influence those around them, creating shifts in perception and prompting change that would not occur otherwise. This ripple effect can be subtle or profound, depending on the context and the alignment of circumstances. People may not immediately understand the impact of what the chosen one does, but over time, the influence becomes undeniable. It touches systems, communities, and individuals, fostering awareness, accountability, and transformation in ways that are often invisible at first glance. Challenges faced by the chosen one are not limited to external forces. Internal struggles are equally significant. They confront fear, doubt, and temptation, each serving as a test of character and commitment. These internal battles are critical, as they shape the ability to act with discernment and integrity. The chosen one must learn to distinguish between ego and purpose, between distraction and true guidance, and between fleeting impulses and enduring principles. This inner mastery is essential, for the path is filled with moments where clarity, composure, and unwavering resolve determine the difference between progress and derailment. The experiences of the chosen one are transformative. They are shaped, not only by what they encounter, but also by how they respond, the choices they make under pressure, and their ability to remain aligned with a higher principle despite uncertainty. Each moment reinforces the understanding that their role is part of a much larger narrative, a story that is being written not by chance but by design. The chosen one is positioned at the intersection of destiny and action, where awareness meets opportunity and where purpose demands response. The calling of the chosen one is both a burden and a gift. It requires courage, wisdom, and resilience. Yet it offers profound clarity, insight, and connection to a truth that is often hidden from those who walk ordinary paths. Those chosen are not defined solely by their achievements, but by their alignment with a purpose that transcends the self. They are called to act, to awaken, and to lead in ways that reflect the principles of balance, justice, and the higher order that guides the unfolding of events. The chosen one stands as a living reminder that destiny is not passive. It is not simply something that happens to people. It is something that is realized through awareness, action, and commitment to a calling that is greater than individual desire. Their presence signals a turning point, a shift in momentum, and a force that moves unseen, yet with precision, toward outcomes that will ultimately reflect truth, restoration, and alignment.